Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Monday, June 2nd. It is 6:23 right now. We got market opening up in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. Okay, looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Setting this up over here. Brightness. All right. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, June 2nd. It is 6:26 right now. We got market opening up in about 4 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here as people start to join in. Today's Monday, so expect the market. It's kind of move a little funky today. Not just because it's Monday, but also it's technically the first of the month, first trading day of June. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, guys. So just keep that in mind as well. I've just been looking at the news right now. A lot of the tariff stuff, the tariff stuff is a mess right now. So, China, the supposed agreements with China, they're basically Trump accused China of violating their agreement, then China pretty much accused the US of violating the agreement. It's going to be a mess. So we'll see what happens. Maybe volatility might be a little crazy, but we'll work through it, of course. We're entering the summer market, so the volatility is supposed to die down a little bit. I think there's going to be more sweeps here coming up as price continues to range during the summer market, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. All right, going down to the 10, go down to the 1. And it looks like we're good to go. So we're getting a pretty big spike right here on open, not on open, but pre-market. If you guys are looking to take the breakout for today is going to be a sell, it looks like. I mean, we'll see if things change, but right now it is looking like it's going to be a sell for the day. Let me go over here and see where the market profile currently is sitting. So let's see, we have a value high over here at the 42,220. So there's gonna be a pretty good sweep area up here if price reaches this point. Point of control is gonna be right here on the 150 where price is currently at right now. And the value low is gonna be over here at the 100. ATR is currently at 13 right now, so it's really low right now for the most part. All right, so we got a couple sweep areas here to look out for, guys. And it's also NFP week. Thanks, Maria, for the heads up. So let's see who's here so far. Morning, Steven. Morning, Maria. Morning, Narith. Morning, Karen. Morning, Christian. Morning, Lila. Morning, everybody. All right, guys, market's about to open up shortly in about 5 seconds. Breakout for today is going to be a sell. We do have sweep areas down here if price does decide to come down a little bit. So the sweep may happen from this lower point. This is going to be one of the sweep zones for me. It probably goes straight from the value low, not from liquidity. And looking at this sweep area over here, there's possible areas of sweep right here. So like I mentioned earlier this morning, guys, be careful for the market manipulation here on open. Obvious reasons, today's Monday, it's NFP week, and it is the first of the month technically. So, just a bunch of things there to look out for, of course. Uh, I mean, nothing out of the usual here. A lot of things here to be careful for on open. You probably want to wait for the market to stabilize and kind of chill out for a bit before you start taking any entries because the obvious reasons that I mentioned, first of the month, um, new month, new money, of course, NFP. There's a lot of things here to look out for. So we'll uh we'll see where this goes. Let's see, market opened right here. Let's see, initially market open right here. Price pushed up about 38 points, and now it's coming right back down. I'm going to take off this level of liquidity because it's pretty much done with. Let's move it down here. Or I'll take that off for now. Let's see where the TPO is here on the 1 minute. Okay, so the market profile is a little different here on the 1 minute. It's actually lower. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. So we got nothing to take here right now, guys. We had a sell signal come up right here. MPSV2 actually came up here pre-market. I mean, obviously we wouldn't have taken this. This came up at 6 o'clock. So this was an MPSV2 that came up pre-market. Other than that, there's nothing else right now at the moment. See, price is pushed up quite a bit. It's grabbing that area of liquidity right there. So if you're looking to take sweeps, guys, the sweeps that I'm personally looking for is going to be like way down here or way up here. I'm looking at the far ends of the market right now. ATR is currently at 21, so it's starting to pick up a little bit. So again, if you're looking for a sweep, possible sweep area is going to be up here. These liquidities over here got knocked out. She was asking what is the upper sweep number. So upper sweep number is going to be at 42,226. Lower sweep number over here is going to be at 42,100. Here, I'll put up the parameters over here for the sweeps. See. ATR is currently at 21, so 30 points might not be the move. Might have to be a little tighter. So this is going to be around the area that I'm looking to take the upper sweep. Sweep down here is going to be around this area, 42,100. But like I said, you might want to be careful with the entries at the moment. I'm waiting for the market here to kind of like show its hand before I start looking for any entries here. Obviously, this is going to be the area where I'm looking for possible sweep, but we'll see if it even makes it that high. Price got pretty close to the value high right here. Not quite to the actual value high, but I got pretty close to it. Let's see, shifts at 42,279 is the weekend gap fill. Bias is gap fill, so we're looking to take buys into that, but waiting for a 15-minute orb. 42,254. Gotcha. Okay. So you're looking for price push a bit higher. 254. Okay. So like this area up here. Yeah, thing is I don't have any liquidity up there. So what I've seen over here and what I've been looking at is from like other, well, not really other analysis, but looking at like these whole numbers over here, what I've seen is if price sticks above 42,200, then it's probably going to keep pushing up bullish. But like right now, the overall bias for like the mid bias for YM is about like neutral bearish. So if it stays below 42,200, I think it's going to stay within a range or consolidation. If it stays above this area, then I think it's going to be bullish. It's going to have a shift to the upside. Um, I mean, you can see over here, price has been ranging for a long time for the 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute. Price has been going sideways right here. There's not really much movement. Same with the 10 minute over here. So basically from the 4 hour down to the 10 minute, it's been kind of ranging, consolidating. Actually, all the time frames, even the 1 minute and the 5 minute here. I mean, they're not really going anywhere. Price is kind of just sitting there right now. So yeah, if price was to fill that gap that you're talking about, Shiv, I think it's going to shift to a bullish bias. Right now, it's in a ranging bias. So I mean, it's a key area for to look for if price does stay above there. But I mean, I don't think price is going to stay up there because you can see over here, price hasn't really gone past that area. I mean, it went past it for like a little bit for like one candle here on the 30 minute, but it was just a sweep. Price came up, swept, came right back down. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Shiv said will make my range breakout on the 245 candle. All right, we'll see what happens here then. A few. Price is pretty much a sweeping back and forth. So the sweep over here happened. Well, not really a sweep, but price pushed above. Sweep happened up here actually. So there's a couple sweeps here that happened. There's a sweep that happened down here, and there's a sweep that happened up there. Um, Looks like the sweep happened right here at the point of control down below, the 1 minute point of control. And then the other sweep happened right here at this value high, the 1 minute value high. I don't really like the 1 minute value high very much, or the 1 minute market profile, because it's always adjusting. So the problem with this here is I've added the market profile to the 1 minute here just to have like some sort of confluence. You can see here prices in this obvious range, right? We're in a big range right now. Price is going back and forth within this area. So we got this really big range. This is pretty much where price is ranging from right now. Um, you guys can see it a little clearer here. We got a messy market, of course. So you can see over here, my sweeps are pretty far out. They're like on the farther edge of the market. Um, so like what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for possible fake outs, like price to come a little lower, fake out and come right back up into the range. Same with this over here. I'm looking for price to break above it, fake out, come back into the range. We got price coming back down lower right here. This is a point of control basically on the 30-minute. Let me see if there's any adjustments here that I have to make. See, I like the 30-minute market profile because it doesn't really adjust as often. And we had some lower levels right here, but nothing's really came to it yet. We're getting close to the value low though. So we are getting close to the value low here. If anybody's looking to catch that sweep, the value low over here is at 42. It's at 120 now. It's actually way up here. So we've adjusted this a little bit. Okay, so if this is the case, I think I'm gonna have to adjust the entry point for this. Probably gonna have to be like right here. Yeah. So the sweep from here is gonna have to switch a little bit because price is has adjusted a bit. All right, so this is gonna be area for possible sweep now. It's definitely shifted a bit right here. All right, so looking at the sweep, I've adjusted the parameters. The value low is a lot lower earlier, and it's adjusted up a little higher. So it's like right here now at 41 or 42 120. So I've adjusted this up a little bit. I mean, if you want to take a closer sweep, this could be possible sweep up here. But again, like I said, I'm looking for the farther out sweeps, which is going to be down here. Price didn't get to the actual sweep area, it got to this lower range, and it shot right back up. So it's respecting the range that I drew right here. Price pretty much came down exactly to the same range point for a double bottom right here. Super sharp right there. Let's see. Sam said FYNQ opened very bullish. Good to know. I think a lot of people are bandwagoning on the news that happened from last week with the earnings for Nvidia. A lot of AI news going on as well. There's just a lot of things happening behind the scenes. Let's go check over here real quick. So this is what I was just talking about earlier, guys. It says Dow falls 100 points as global trade tensions rise to start a new month. Like I said, as we open the market today, a lot of back and forth between China and the US, and then also the EU as well. So we're probably going to see a lot of stuff happening right here. You can see Trump accuses China of violating preliminary deal. This is on Friday. And then China reacted back and said that no, the US actually violated. So we'll we'll see. All right, we got price pushing up right here. We're not necessarily at any sweep areas. I mean, price just going back and forth. There was a possible MPSV2 that came up right here, but this candle is just way too big. So obviously I wouldn't take that there as an MPSV2. It's like a 40 point candle, way too big. We're just stuck in this range here. This is a summer market, so nothing new here, nothing to be afraid of. It's just market. So we got news coming up right now. Sorry guys, thanks for the heads up, everyone in the chat. So we have S&P Global Manufacturing PMI inflation news coming up in 1 minute. And then we have a couple more news events right here, 7 o'clock for ISM Manufacturing PMI. And then we got the Fed speaking at 7:15. So news just happened right here. First news event, we got one at 7 o'clock, 7:15, 7:30. No, so we got one at 7 o'clock, medium high impact news, more inflation news, and then we have manufacturing employment and manufacturing PMI, and then we have the Fed speaking at 7:15. I mean, it's not going to make a difference. There's no entries for us to take here anyways. There's a possible MPSV2 setting up, or actually, no, it already passed. It was the one that I just talked about right here, this huge candle. So no MPSV2 there. Again, my possible sweep areas are still there. It's probably going to take a while for it to get to that point, but it's still there. All right, we got price coming down a bit. And we got a pretty volatile market here, as you guys can see. This thing is spiking all over the place. Huge, huge candles. Obviously, be a little careful with your guys' entries. We just had news that came up right here. It was negative. You can see here, price is pretty much reacting to the news. News happened right here at 6:45. Huge dump in price. Possible sweep down here if price gets down to this point. There may be a sweep right here, guys. So the sweep might happen right here. Or if it doesn't happen right there, it's going to happen down here. So it looks like the sweep might be happening right here at the value low. I mean, it's just a tricky area. I wouldn't want to take any sweeps here right now because the news was negative. So, I mean, it's kind of tricky to take any trades at this point. You might get a fake out, of course. Yeah, so we got, looks like the sweep is happening right here. So like I said, there's areas of sweep right here. Looks like it did sweep at that point. Swept at the value low, not the full 30. ATR is currently at 24 right now, so I'd probably go for like maybe 20 points or 25. 20 points hit right there. 25 might be viable. Yeah. 25 could work. But yeah, it's a tricky sweep area right here. I don't think I'd take this sweep because the news was negative. So we have more news coming up right here at 7 o'clock, so in about 11 minutes. So the 20 already got hit there if you guys are looking for a sweep at the value low. Again, like I said before, I'm looking for like the lower sweep. So the 25 there did get hit. Looks like the 30 actually is going to get hit too. Yeah. So price swept exactly at the value low, which was right here. I was looking for the lower level, so I didn't get into that sweep, of course. I was trying to get in from down here. But the initial sweep did happen from this area right here. It's just a tricky sweep. I personally wouldn't look to take that because, like I said, the news happened right here at 6:45. Price came crashing down right after that negative news came out. So it's forecasted to be last month was 52.2, forecasted to be 52.3, which was supposed to be positive. It actually came up negative at 52.0, and it came down here pretty sharp. So you can see the sweep happened at the value low. Value low liquidity. This is usually the area where I'm looking to take my sweeps, but because the news was negative, wasn't really looking to take it right there. I was looking for it to dip a bit lower and then sweep from there. But you guys can see over here, price is still respecting the range that I drew. So I drew this range here. Pretty much this range was established pre-market right here, and price is respecting it pretty perfectly. So we'll see if price gets down to this lower level down here. I don't have my pending order in place yet. I'm kind of just watching to see how the market here moves because the sweep already happened. So I'm not looking to get in at the sweep anymore. It's a little too late. So no sweep for me right here, guys. The sweep happened right here. So nothing for me at this point. I'll watch it. If it comes back up, I'll be looking to take it back up, but I'm not taking any sweeps around this area because the sweep's already done with. I'll just delete that. Sweep happened early at this upper level, so I'm not gonna double dip into that area of sweep. That's something you guys got to keep in mind too. If the sweep happens, I talked to this, I think, with Christian last week. When the sweep happens at an earlier level, then the sweep is done with around that area. You'd have to look for a lower sweep level. So I'm not really looking to take any sweeps around here. I'm looking for price to maybe establish a new value low, which is not here yet. You can turn on the TPO. So it's actually down here. There's a new value low, but I don't want to use that one there. I'm going to go back to the 30-minute time frame. Let's see if there's any lower levels down here. So we have a possible point of control here at the 42.30 mark. Mm, I'll just mark it up, but I don't think this is going to be a really good one because there's no liquidity around this area. So 42.30 is going to be the point of control, and the value low is going to be at the 42,000 and 41,980. So you can see a lot of the market reaction here based off the news. This is why I didn't want to take the sweep earlier because I knew something like this was going to happen. 42 40, or 41,980. Okay, so price is currently at the value, or it's heading to the value low. See here, big dump to the downside. There's no MPS V2s here right now, so there's nothing for us to take. The next sweep area that I'd be looking for would be right here at the Asia low. That's gonna be the next sweep area from down here. Man, huge dump right there. Sweep's gonna have to happen at some point. This thing can't keep dumping forever. All right, so sweep area I'm looking for is going to be right here. Down at the, so we have a liquidity level right here, and we have an Asia low also at this point. I'm taking half risk on my trades, guys, so risk isn't too crazy. I'll see if I can maybe get in for this sweep. That's going to be the closest level of liquidity below. I'm going to clean this up here. Price is dropping pretty heavy at this point. All right, we're pretty much cleaning up the area. These are all liquidity pushes. So like earlier we talked about, or last week we talked about liquidity pushes versus liquidity sweeps. For liquidity pushes, you're looking for volatility and momentum in a direction and you ride it in that direction, right? For the sweeps, you're looking for the volatility and momentum to die out and swing the other way. So there's no MPS V2 setting up here. All we have that's possible for entry would be a liquidity sweep, which would be around this area where the value low is at. So this liquidity right here is going to be the area I'll be looking to maybe get into. I'm taking half risk, so I have two opportunities. If this here doesn't hit, I'll probably get in at the lower one, which is right here. So if this hits my stop loss, then I'll just get in right here. I'll get back out at break even, basically. Or if I win this one, then I don't have to get out at break even because I'll be in profit from that trade. Yeah, Shiv said, well, that smashed through my 15-minute range. Didn't expect that. Yeah, this is all like followed reaction from the news earlier because I think they're forecasting the news here to be negative as well. Well, I mean, because this news is negative, I think they're expecting these to be negative as well. So we got news coming up in about 4 minutes. This is why, we have this big crash down. I mean, this is a big drop from here, guys, from news. Prices came down about almost 200 points. This is a low volatility day. The ATR was like around 20 earlier. Now it's at 30. So we'll see. But anyways, my sweep level is going to be down here. If we have an MPS V2, this might push back up higher. We got liquidity sitting up here as well. Liquidity right there. Let's see what we got. Nothing here right now. We have a pending buy signal. If this buy signal closes, we might have an MPS V2 to the upside. We do have news coming up shortly in about 3 minutes. So yeah, Christian said he canceled his pending order because in 5 we have news. Yeah. I wouldn't really put anything there right now. And yeah, exactly. Drew over here mentioned NFP week. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things today. It's first of the month, technically for trading. It's Monday. It's NFP week. We have all the tariff news from the weekend, you know, stuff with China. It's uh it's a tricky day. Overall tricky day. Yeah, exactly. Drew said going to be a lot of movement on the news this week. Yeah, 100%. There's going to be a lot of tariff stuff because the 90-day tariff pause is coming to an end, guys. We're in June. So if you guys remember 3 months ago or 2 months ago, the tariff news initially came out. And then right after Trump said we're going on a 90-day pause. And then last week, the court basically ruled that Trump's reciprocal tariffs were invalid, and then they're fighting it back, and they appealed, and now they made them valid again. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the news, guys, that's happening behind the scenes. So you're going to see a lot of volatility, a lot of spikes, a lot of crazy movements in the market. This is why the sweeps are going to come in handy because when we do get those big spikes, eventually momentum is going to have to die out, and then it's going to possibly reverse in a sense, or we can catch these sweep levels. So the nearest sweep level is going to be right here, but we have news right here at 7 o'clock. So I'm going to be a little careful with that again. Earlier, like I said, here at 6:45, there's a sweep level that came up right here. We had news at 6:45, but it was bearish. So like for me, I wouldn't really look to take this sweep at this point because I would have found this to be too risky. However, the sweep did play through right there and it came right back down immediately after. So you want to be careful, probably wait for the news here to pass because if the news here again is negative, then you're probably going to see the same thing happen, sweep and then come back down. So here's the difference. If you see the news positive, that this is best case scenario is news is positive, price gets manipulated down, and then it sweeps right here and it comes right back up. Right. So I'm looking for the news here to possibly be positive. If the news here is positive, then you might see a manipulation to the downside and then a sweep back up because a lot of people here are anticipating the news to be negative. And we got the news coming up right here. Looks like there was a big spike in price. Looks like the sweep already happened, guys. So unfortunately, the sweep just happened right there already. If you guys took it, I mean, it looks like it already probably hit. Yeah, that new spike was just too sharp. Let's check the news again real quick. News is all negative here. So that sweep's going to be tricky. It's not going to be one that I would necessarily look to take, of course. Man, today's just it's a messy day, guys. It's a super messy day. You guys can see there that the sweep happened very quickly. Obviously, I didn't get into that sweep because there was news there. Looks like price literally spiked. So what happened here is price spiked down and it came right up and then it came right back down. Obviously, I wouldn't take that there. You can see here we're having a lot of reaction to the news. So I guess I'll look for the next level of sweep if possible, but you guys can see huge contract that just came in right now. Let's see. 66 contracts for a sell. It's like people are continuing to chase it down a little further. Right, so the news right here. Let me change that color. Pink. Man, huge, huge drop right there. There's no other entries here available. I was looking for a possible MPSV2, but the buy signal never came up. So there's no MPSV2s here that are currently pending. Um, the sweeps here, well, there was a sweep that filled right there, but I didn't take it, of course, because we had news at 7 o'clock. This upper sweep's probably not going to get filled today. And go back over here, see if there's any adjustments. The next value low is going to be right here at 42, 41,920. So it looks like another sweep area down here. That was the value low right here from Wednesday. So last Wednesday, we had the value low from right here. Price came down, grabbed liquidity right there at the value low. There's no actual liquidity sitting down there, but that's where the value low was from Wednesday. So price is respecting the previous market profile areas. Man, what a messy market. All right, let me clean this up a little bit. I'll take that one off, take that one off, take that one off. I'll leave this one here for now. A lot of high impact news events today. 6:45 PMI. Basically inflation news. So the inflation news today really affected the market super heavily. At 6:45, we had global manufacturing PMI negative. 7 o'clock, we had manufacturing employment negative, manufacturing PMI negative. So two inflation news right here for manufacturing ISM. and S&P. Then we have the employment. Everything's kind of down right now. So everything else over here is kind of tricky. Let's see. Sam's asking 1449. So let's see at yeah, 57 right here. This was an A plus plus, so that you're right with that one. That was an A plus plus setup. For the MPS V2, it was this candle right here actually at 40, Sam, but the candle was too big. I think it was like a 40-point candle. Yeah, it's basically a 40-point candle. So, I mean, if you wanted to ignore this one and then wait for it to come back down, I guess you could have done that. And then the entry would have happened right here. But again, this candle right here was huge as well. Another 40-point candle. So the MPS V2 would have happened right here, or if you wanted to wait for like an act like a normal candle, you could have gotten in from right here. So I think this is probably where you look to get in from, right? Around this area, because the sell signal happened right here. And yeah, this over here was a plus plus. It was at 657, 49. Yeah, this over here was it was an engulfing candle, but it wasn't an A plus plus and it wasn't an MPS V2 because the MPS V2 came up over here, and for the A plus plus, you're looking for the third leg. So this was the first leg, this is the second leg, this would be the third leg right here. So this one would have been the A plus plus for you. This is just this one over here would be a continuation. So this would be the second leg. So like I mentioned over here, like the setups that we're looking for are for three legs, right? So the MPS V2 would have happened right here on the first leg. That one that you mentioned right here is the second leg. And this is the actual A plus plus, which would happen right here, the third leg, which came down. I mean, either way, they're both reversal patterns. So, you still would have hit regardless. It's just you're taking a riskier trade if you're taking the second leg versus the third, because you want to have the initial one and then you want to have the finishing one here. Now that we have three legs right here, so you can see how price kind of came down, came down, came down. Now at this point, it's going to flip the other way and possibly give three legs back up. Yeah. Because usually like that's how like if you ever follow like Elliott wave, that's kind of how it works, right? It has basically three legs. And at that point it's exhausted and then it flips back the other way, three legs the other way. So it sets up like this, and then when you look at it as a bigger picture, it sets up as a head and shoulders. So see right here, we have a shoulder, a head, a shoulder. This is an inverse head and shoulders. So like I said, if you have an MPS V2 or basically MPS V2 A plus plus to the downside, you can look for an MPS V2 A plus plus to the upside. Because then at this point, it creates a range, right? So now at that point, you now have a upper range and a lower range. So see how these patterns kind of line up together? I'm not necessarily looking for a head and shoulders, and I'm also not looking for a support resistance. But if you follow it properly, the MPS V2 will line up to be basically a head and shoulders. So like here, price is pushing back up. If this continues to be a leg to the upside, this could be three legs upwards. So we have an engulfing right here, which is the first leg, right? First reversal pattern right there. Then we have a possible MPS V2 if a buy signal closes here. So this could possibly set up for MPS V2 for a buy. And then we have a possible A plus plus that may happen up here. So you got first leg, second leg, third leg on its way back up. And if you look at this from a bigger picture, this is literally a head and shoulders. So just keep that in mind, guys. This is why I always tell you guys, like, it doesn't matter what strategy you're playing. It doesn't even matter what you call it. You can call it support and resistance. You can call it supply and demand. You can call it liquidity sweeps. You can call it whatever you want, right? The analysis tends to line up together. These patterns and these strategies, they're not new. Like they've been around forever. It's just people call them different things. Sometimes people call them support and resistance. Sometimes people call them supply and demand. It doesn't really matter what you call it. If it works for your analysis and for your trading plan, then call it whatever you want. Like for me, I'm calling these sweeps, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of people are calling this supply and demand, or a lot of people are calling this support and resistance. Doesn't really matter. You guys can call it whatever you want. Whatever makes sense for your analysis there. The ATR is really, really high right now, guys. It's currently at 35. I don't think we've seen I don't think we've seen ATR this high in a long time. It's starting to drop down a little bit, but yeah. All right. So we have an MPS V2 right here, but this is going to be at a red flag, guys. If anybody's looking to take it, I mean, feel free to take it. I'll mark it up for you guys here. The candle has to close green, and this is an MPS V2. The problem with this here is that there's a red flag around here, so this isn't going to be an entry that I'm specifically looking to take here. If you guys want to take it, feel free to take it. It's going to be up to your own risk. I'll be marking up new areas of liquidity over here. I don't even know if this candle is going to close green. Candle's kind of bouncing back and forth a whole bunch. So no entry there yet. Candle hasn't closed green. It's got to close green above this pink line, basically, for it to be an MPS V2 for a buy. TR is at 35. Let me check the market profile here. 42,100. 42,220. All right, so nothing here has really changed very much. I mean, everything is kind of where yeah, the market profile hasn't really changed very much. I mean, well, we have a pretty messy market for today. You guys can see there's so much stuff on the chart right now. The 1 minute market profile is kind of relevant. It's super high up here. MPS V2 has not closed yet. So the green candle has to close above this pink line up here for it to be an MPS V2. All right. This is gonna be a little tricky down here. We have two possible areas for sweep. We have a possible sweep level right here. The MPS V2 didn't come up, so there's no MPS V2 there, but there may be a possible sweep that can happen right here. So this is gonna be tricky, guys, because these levels are really close to each other. So you can see there's a liquidity level right here, and there's a liquidity level right here. I mean, this could be the sweep. If this stops you out, this can be the possible sweep. The only problem with this here is that they're just too close because you don't have enough space here for it to like push any further down. If it goes down to this level, it's gonna stop you out, of course. But I mean, if I was to take a sweep here, I probably would go for the lower level down here. All right, so it looks like the MPS V2 is starting to finally come up right here, guys. This candle is really big though. It's a huge candle, so I mean, I personally wouldn't go for this. This is about 50-point candle right here. If you do want to take it again, take it at your own risk. The ATR is currently at 35, so a 30-30 might be a little too tight. Um, I'll mark it up for you guys there, but like I said, this candle here is huge. And it's at the point of control right here, so this can possibly sweep this area and come right back down. So if you guys want to take this, again, take it at your own risk. I'm not taking this trade here as MPS V2. There's a red flag. It's at news price. And then also the candle is just way too big. So there goes the MPS V2 currently running for a 30-30. Obviously, I wouldn't take this here for the many reasons I just showed you guys. I'm going to take it off because I don't want you guys to think I'm in the position. When the candle's big like this, the reason why we skip a trade when the candle's big like this is that it tends to retrace to halfway of the candle. And then maybe it pushes back up. There's two different scenarios here that typically come out when you have a huge candle like this. When the candle is huge, price will probably retrace to the halfway mark and then push back up. Or the other scenario is price pushes up, retraces to the halfway mark, and continues down lower to fill the gap, right? This big gap right here that came up between this area and this area up here. So you just want to be careful with your entries, guys. You want to be smart about your entries. Today's Monday. You got a whole week ahead of you. It's NFP week. So there's no need to really force any trades today. If you don't see anything good, there's no need to just get into something just because. Only get into something if it makes sense. Right now, it doesn't make sense to me. We got red flags here. Candle's too big. So many reasons not to take entries at this specific area. I'll be looking for sweeps though. So I'm looking for a sweep down here. And I'm looking for a possible sweep up here. I don't think this will even happen today, but we'll see. We have another high right here, but I don't think there's going to be any opportunity for sweep at that point. I kind of want to clean up my chart a little bit. I got so many levels on here right now. CPO. Any updates on the CPO? Yeah, no updates here. All right. So not too much going on here, guys. Price is still kind of just sitting around this area. We have the Fed starting to speak right now at 7:15. So right here we got the Fed speaking 7:15, Fed Logan. It's not televised, so we can't watch it, but pretty sure he's going to be commenting on the news that just happened right here, and then also the tariff news that's happening as well. Let's pull up CNBC real quick. Any breaking news? No breaking news, but the Dow is currently down right now. Same update from earlier. It says Dow falls 300 points as global trade tensions rise to start a new month. So it was earlier 100 points. Now it's 300 points. Yeah, so here's the thing I was just talking about earlier. It says China pushed back against the US accusations that it had violated a temporary trade agreement. Instead, the country blamed Washington for failing to uphold the deal. So basically, Trump blamed China, China blamed Trump, and then it says here tensions reignited following a brief pause of after US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng met in Geneva. So like basically you said over here, as we discussed earlier, it was the tariffs were currently on a 90-day suspension, right? But because of the arguments right now between China and US, I mean, this is going to be done. There's not going to be a 90-day suspension anymore. We're going back into the crazy tariffs that we talked about like about 3 months ago. So I mean, it's a crazy back and forth right now, guys. So when you see some craziness happen in the market, that's because there's other stuff happening behind the scenes. Like the right now, the price action and stuff like that, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. We're all price action traders here if we're trading technicals, but the technicals here don't really matter very much because one little thing can happen in the news and it could cause a spike in price. Kind of like what happened earlier today, right? With the PMI news over here. Didn't matter what your price action was saying. This here price, news happened at 6:45 and this thing dumped down. And then more news happened here at 7 o'clock and this dumped down again, right? This is all based off news. News here was all negative. So the reaction in the market was based off the news. It wasn't based off price action. It was based off whatever the news wanted to yield. So again, I think there's an MPS V2 still running right now. Let me see. It came up from right here. Yeah, it's still technically running right now. I'm not in the MPS V2, but it is still technically running at the moment. So the MPS V2 there is currently running. It's at the entry point. Not really much happening right here. I'm just waiting for the market to kind of calm down a little bit because there's nothing right here with with this. I mean, where price is currently sitting right now. All right, looks like the waiting game begins, so we're just gonna be waiting a little bit. I mean, the MPS V2 is still running in profit right now. I mean, it's running around open, so and I'm kind of curious to see what's happening in the forex market. This here didn't fill. It's possible sweep coming up right here. Or the sweep is already active, it looks like. For UJ. I think it's already done with. Yeah, pretty nice sweep right there. So I've been kind of looking over here at the at like different assets to kind of see where, because the thing is a lot of these I used to trade forex a long time ago. A lot of you guys trade forex as well. Forex is going to be heavily affected. Usually forex is a really slow asset, but it's going to be heavily affected because of the tariff news. I mean, obviously a lot of this stuff's starting to get hit a lot more. Oops. No. GBP, JPY. Yeah, I mean, obviously not all of these sweep areas are going to work out. Well, price was already below this point. Yeah, but price is, nah, I already broke past it. What else is a common pair? 80 USD. Price is below here pre-market. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking at forex pairs. I haven't traded forex in a while, but looking at forex pairs, the same strategies that I'm applying over here for YM, they're gonna flow over to like the forex pairs. I would just trade them on a higher time frame, like the 30 or something like that. So I'll be looking at that. I'll probably be getting on these live sessions a little earlier, maybe around like 5:30 or so, just to kind of see where things are sitting with these forex pairs. Because the thing is, there's money to be made in this market, guys. It doesn't matter what asset you're trading, you find an asset that you're good at. Um, the thing is, with the strategies here that we're applying, they work across the board. So it doesn't really matter if you want to trade YM, NQ, gold, any of that stuff. I mean, these two main things work, sweeps and MPS V2s. They're going to work in any type of market. So right now, guys, it looks like the MPS V2 actually played out. So the MPS V2 was from right here. It took a long time for it to hit, but it did end up hitting right there. If anybody decided to, obviously take that trade there. It got close to hitting stop loss here. It just kind of consolidated in range for a bit, but eventually it spiked up and hit its TP right there. So there goes an MPS V2 that came up. Damn. So it looks like the pattern that I mentioned earlier, guys, it's doing exactly what I said, right? So I said earlier, you know how price came down right here? I said when we're looking for MPS V2s, we're looking for three legs down right like this, right? And then now we established this lower, the sweep happened. So MPS V2 to the downside, sweep to the upside, and now three legs back up. And that's exactly what happened here. We had three legs down and then three legs back up here. So possible A++ setup can set up for a nice entry here if it does come up. So nice. Sam actually caught into that MPS V2. So nice work, Sam, on catching that there. We'll see what happens here next. I mean, there's not really much here for me to take personally. There's just, red flags. Obviously, there's no areas for entry here for me specifically. Next sweep area is going to be up here. It's pretty far up, but I mean, it can still play through. Big order right there just came in. Let's see. 169 contracts for a sell. at 41 42 121. So either there were stops getting filled right there. I mean, it looks like it's possibly people getting stopped. I guess people who chased the sell right here, they just got destroyed because it came right back up and stopped them. It's either sells entering the market or stops getting filled. But there was 169 contracts that got filled right here at 41 121. All right, I'm gonna step away for 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Looks like nothing has happened since I left. There's a possible MPSV2, or sorry, not MPSV2, A++ setup right here. There's an engulfing candle that's pending. The problem with this here is that we have all of these red flags around here, right? We have opening price. When price pushes up higher, we have a news price right there. So if you guys want to take this, it's probably not going to happen though, or maybe. It's so if this candle closes green and it closes above this area right here, then this is going to be an engulfing candle, which is going to be an A++ setup. So if anybody's looking to take that, there's a possible opportunity here for A++. It's going to be right at the red flag, though. It's going to be at the opening price. So that's going to be something to be aware of if you are looking to take this trade here. Not taking it to red flag for me. For sweeps, the red flags aren't as important, but for the MPS V2s and A++, they are important because these are areas of manipulation. You don't want to be trading directional when market's possibly going to be manipulated. When you're trading sweeps, it's okay to trade it in a manipulated market because you want price to be manipulated at that point. So for example, right here, I have a sweep that's kind of just hanging out up here, right? When price pushes up here, I want price to get manipulated here. I want it to push up, I want it to sweep, come down, and then come back up. That's what I want to happen up here. That's why manipulation is okay when I'm taking liquidity sweeps. When I'm taking directional moves like an MPSV2 or A++, I don't want manipulation here, right? Because I don't want price to come down on me. I don't want anything like this to happen. I want it to just shoot right through. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. That's why the red flags are important when you're trading directional. It's not so important when you're trading tops and bottoms or reversals because you want the reversals to happen. However, for the directional moves, you don't want reversals to happen. You want the directional moves to happen because you want price to just shoot through and hit your TP, right? So for example, here, see how price is kind of sitting around this area? This is all manipulation right now because the thing is price should be continuing up higher, right? The direction of price, the bias is bullish, but price is getting manipulated right here and it's coming back down for retracement, which may shoot back up, but you don't want to trade like that. You want the trade to just go straight through. So this is like the worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario is your trade fails. You go sideways for a little bit. You don't know where price is going to go. Eventually, it spikes, right? Either spikes up, hit your TP, or it spikes down, hit your stop loss. When you're in a situation like that, it's not a good situation to be in because when you're stuck in a position like that, you just don't know where price is going to go, and you start to second guess your analysis. So. Let's see. CJ said, is the 41 150 you have marked up? This isn't a red flag right here. This is a point of control. So the black lines are going to be point of control. You can see we have the one from today right here. We have the older one from, I think, Wednesday right here. Um, Black lines. So the dotted lines are going to be, the black dotted lines are going to be point of control. The dotted green lines are going to be value highs or value lows actually. And the dotted red lines are going to be value highs. So they're going to be slightly different. You can see the difference between the sessions and the value highs and value lows. The problem with this type of market that we're in is that we have a lot of different value highs and value lows. So if you look over here, so we marked up different ones because price was so far below, right? Typically, when you have a balanced market, like for example, this is a balanced market right here, right? This was last week on the 25th. This is a balanced market. You can trade within the value high and the value low, right? Price respects the areas, doesn't go too far out. So you'll have like one or two levels right there. Today, you can see price. So here's today's market. The range is supposed to be within this middle area right here. The price dumps super far below, comes right back up, dumps super far below, and then again, here we're back in the range. I'm actually gonna have to make some adjustments to that. So that black line is gonna have to get moved to 130, 42, 130. Here, I'm gonna clean this up now because it looks like the market here is starting to kind of balance out. So let me go over here and I'm gonna clean this all up. I'm gonna take this off. This goes down to the 41, 130. I think the value high is still okay. So the value high right here is at the 42, 200. It's actually lower now. 42, 200. Point of control is at 42, 130. Value low is at 42, 80. All right, so it's starting to look a little better now. We don't have so many lines on the chart anymore. We have news price, point of control, which is right here down the middle. We have the value high, which is right here. If this is the case and the value high is around this area, I mean my actually no, it doesn't change much. I'm still gonna look for a sweep around this area up here. The sweep might happen earlier though. So here's the thing. We have the value high right here. Price might come up to this area and sweep this area right here. So it might miss our actual sweep up here. But I mean, who knows? We'll see. Maybe price might get manipulated up here a little higher and then sweep from up there and come down. But we have a bunch of areas of sweep right here. You guys can see all the liquidity kind of hanging out around this area right here, right? Sweep's going to happen eventually at some point up here. But the charts are a little cleaner. They're not very clean, but they are a little cleaner. Price is going back into this upper range from earlier. So if you guys remember earlier, I mentioned this range that I drew up. I drew up this range pre-market. Price was in this area earlier this morning. So price was ranging around this area, broke below, pretty much came down super sharply. So this big drop happened based off the news. If you guys are just joining in, the news happened right here at 6:45. It spiked price down. We had another news event here at 7, also negative, spiked price down, and then correction right back up here. Damn, look at this huge green candle. So it looks like that A++ setup right here just hit full TP if anybody decided to take that. I mean, that big spike happened that pushed it to TP right there, but it was like kind of random. I don't think there's any news here that caused that big spike, but it's just a huge recovery. So you guys can see the range for today was huge. If you can see over here, market opened at 6:30. We had a huge, so initially price pushed up, faked out, came right back down, and then pushed all the way back up. So if you look at today's range from today, this is a 300-point range just from market open. So price came up, faked out, came down, faked out, came all the way back up. It did exactly what I mentioned earlier. It did the head and shoulders, right? So we had the first leg for MPSV2 to the downside right here. Then MPSV2 and push back up to the upside right here. The perfect head and shoulders. Even though we weren't looking for head and shoulders, we were looking for MPSV2s to the downside and MPSV2s to the upside. You guys see the story right here? So it basically created a storyline. We had the sweep that happened right here, MPSV2, A++. Perfect, right? Three legs right there. It did exactly what we talked about. Three leg push to the upside. So like whenever you guys see the sweep here, the sweep can help you identify the following moves. So you see a bottom sweep and you're like, okay, MPSV2 should be nice on the move up, and then the A++ should be nice as well. Justin right here said took the A++ done for the day. Thank you, bro. Yeah, definitely, Justin. Solid work on catching that A++ right there. It's a tricky entry, but it still played through. So that's all that really matters, right? All that matters is that the strategy played through. If you guys follow the strategy as it was supposed to be applied, you would have hit your TP. If you guys didn't take it, it's completely fine. I didn't take it because of the red flag here. So no entry for me there. There is a possible sweep that may happen above this area over here as well, though. So I'll be looking for that. Not much has changed yet. Price is still going sideways here. All right, we got price kind of just ranging, consolidating around this lower area now. I was looking for it to come up, possibly sweep that upper area, but nothing currently. All right, there we go with the sell signal. Price is just kind of respecting this range now. All right, we got price coming back down from here. No sweep yet. So the first level for sweep that may happen will be up here, but that hasn't happened yet. If this doesn't sweep from this area, I'm looking for the upper sweep up here. We got the sell signal come up right here. Possible MPSV2 setting up for a sell. So we got the sell signal, retracement, possible continuation down lower. ATR is currently 30. Sam would like some retracement here. LOL, someone heard me. 42,048 area for buy response. Yeah, I can see that down here. So 42.48. So 42,200. Yeah. Well, I mean, I have all the sweep areas right here too, so I agree with you. I'll mark up some new liquidity over here. So I had to clean up that older liquidity, and we got the newer liquidity right here. So we have a possible MPSV2 setting up here, guys. We have a sell signal retracement. If this comes back below this area right here, this could be an MPSV2 for a sell. The thing that you want to be careful for here is if you do take this for a sell, there may be a possible rejection right here off the value low. So you just want to be a little careful because if you take the entry right there, you might get, it might reverse before it hits your TP. Any updates here with the levels? No, it's still there. Yeah, all the levels are pretty much the same right now. MPSV2 might come up right here, guys. These candles have been pretty choppy. Every time it gets like below it, it just spikes right back up like it's doing right here. So it's got to close below this area right here for it to be an MPSV2. You have to wait for the candle to actually close. So I would only look to take this if it's like for sure down here. If it's right here around this middle area, I wouldn't risk it. It's really not worth the risk at that point. We have a pretty strong area of sweep up here, though. If anybody's looking to catch the sweep above, I think this lower area might it might sweep from this area than it would from up here. Because we do have the value high sitting right here at the 200. I mean, what might happen here is what I see is price will push up, grab liquidity from there, and come back down to this lower point. If it pushes up, this MPSV2 still hasn't closed. Like I said earlier, the red candle has to close below this area. You can see over here, it failed on this candle, it failed on this candle, and it's probably going to fail on this candle too. So if this here closes below this point, guys, MPSV2, if anybody's looking to take it, the thing you want to be careful for is a possible bounce off this green line right here. So you might want to go for a smaller target, not the full 30. 25 might be fine. Still hasn't closed below this area yet. Let's see, Sam said, Sean, for sell liquidity sweep on top, FYI, I see a 5-minute fair value gap around 42,238 to 252. Worry me if price hits stop loss for TP. Let's see. So your target or your area there is going to be at 42.38 to 52. Yeah, I mean that'd be tricky. That'd be tricky if that's your gap area up there. Let's see. I'm assuming it's on a higher time frame because I don't have the gap here on my 5-minute and I don't have it here on my 1-minute. But yeah, looking at that there, I mean, that could be a possibility. The thing with this here is that there's so many areas for price to get manipulated or, basically reject off of here. So that's why I have my level set up right here. It could be a possibility. Let's check on the 5-minute. Oh, are you talking about this big gap right here from market open or market close, basically? Because there's a gap right here, but this happened from this was like from Friday up until, I'm assuming this is the gap that you're talking about. Market close to market open. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, because I don't have a gap there because it isn't taking into account like market closure. So I don't have any gaps around there. My 5-minute gaps are actually, no, you're right. There is a 5-minute gap there. My bad. You are right. Yeah. So I'm assuming that's when you're talking about. It's the close to open gap, right? I just didn't zoom out far enough. Yeah, I mean it could be tricky. There's also so like the thing with this here is that well, my stop loss is gonna be right at the tip of it if I'm going for that 30-30. Yeah, I mean, okay, so that's going to be a little bit of a tricky area to be looking at. It looks like I might be able to survive that if I do wait for price to get to that point. Um, Otherwise, there's just no other liquidity sitting around this area. If anything, this area, I would be looking for possible break and retest for it to break past it. If anything, there's two gaps right here that I have on the 5-minute. I have a gap right here, which was like immediately after open, and then the gap that was right there. So I think these gaps would be more so instead of a break and retest, I'd be looking for it to bounce off it. So this actually lines up. So there's actually more confluence here for me to take this as a sweep. Because so for the way I'm interpreting it is I have liquidity sitting right here. So I'm basically identifying if there's more areas for price to bounce off, right? So like you said, there's a gap right here. I could see price maybe bounce off this right here. Just gonna fix that. I could look for price to bounce off this right here, which is the liquidity that you mentioned, or the fair value gap, and then bounce off this here. So there's like two different areas for price to bounce from. And then on top of that, now that I take liquidity off, so we have liquidity sitting right here, and then we also have the session sitting right here. So for me personally, it's just the way I see it, right? It doesn't matter if my analysis is right or wrong, but this is just the way that I see it. I'm seeing that there's a lot of bounce areas from right here. The more bounce areas, the better, because that means that a lot of people are looking for price to bounce off this point, right? It's not just me looking for liquidity to bounce off this. There's also people looking for those gaps to get filled and then bounce off it. And then there's also people looking for price to bounce off the Asia high right here, which is the purple line. So yeah, I mean it's tricky. Anyways, guys, the MPSV2 here never filled. So price never came back below this area. We have price now pushing above. There's actually an MPSV2 for a buy right here that's currently running. I missed this one right here. It happened super quickly. I was looking for that sell to happen, but the sell actually never played through. And the buy happened over here instead. So there's an MPSV2 right here currently running for a buy. This is one that I possibly would have taken the because it looks like, price might push up to the or it's going to try to push up to the value high up here. I didn't get into this one though. I don't know if anybody's in this position. I know Shiv and Kyle were looking at it. Yeah, Maria said it's near a red flag. That's the one thing that I would have been kind of wary of is that the news was going to be right there. I mean, it's enough to hit the target, but again, it looks like price here is just going sideways. Sam said sorry for distraction. I missed it. Yeah, no worries, Sam. It's all good. It was good to analyze that and just kind of see how that it's good to see that your analysis kind of lines up with mine. I mean, you're kind of worried about the price not making it past that area or reversing from there, but now that we have your liquidity, your fair value gaps kind of lined up with that, I could feel a little more comfortable about my sweep. All right, 7:49 right now, guys. We have 10 minutes till 8. The volatility here is starting to kind of slow down a little bit. The MPS V2 is currently running in profit. I was kind of thinking to hop in here late, but I wasn't feeling it as well, so I didn't pull the trigger on this trade here. But this could probably push through, but it's probably going to take a while because the volatility here is starting to die down a little bit. We were currently at like 35, or earlier we were at 35 ATR, and then it went down to 30, and then now it went down to 24, 25. So for your target here, I don't know if I'd go for the full 30, maybe go for 25 instead. Yeah, Barack said that 4 hour and 1 hour demand is seemingly strong. I'm thinking bulls are valid showing your liquidity above and the gap all lined up. Yeah, exactly. So the MPSV2 here does look good. I mean, it's probably going to take a while for it to hit, like I said, because the volatility is a little lower, but it does line up to play out pretty nicely. I mean, if it does play out, it's just going to take a while for it to play out because the volatility is so low. So what you might get here is you might get a bit of a sideways move, and eventually it's going to break out to the upside. A lot of times that's like typically what happens here. This is why I don't like trading super late into the session. When it's 7:51 right now. Let's see. Narita over here killed it today. Yes, Narita made 28,600 done, not risking these tough earned gains. A great day, team. Yeah, so Narita over here locked in. Yeah, 1,000 per account. 1,170. Nice work, Narita. Killed it today. I was hoping to have a day like this. I just needed one win, but my sweeps didn't get filled, and then this MPSV2 here is running a little too slow. So it's all good. Nice work, Narith, on killing that right there. There was a lot of opportunities for entry today. It was just tricky. A lot of red flags. The sweeps didn't really fill where I was trying to get in from. It either got swept too early or got swept too late. Um, yeah, amazing profit right there. Yeah, so Narith actually took that A plus plus. So he took that A plus plus entry and he locked in all those profits right there. Great work, Narith. So, like I said before, guys, you just need to look for that one solid entry, right? This solid entry right here too, this NPSV2 is currently running in profit. I'm hoping this right here hits for you guys. It is taking a little bit of some time, but I'm waiting for it to hit for you guys right there. If you're going for the 25.25, it's currently running almost on its way to TP. Yeah, exactly. Narith said, thanks for your spot on analysis. Appreciate you. Patience is key for sure. Yeah, it's really just waiting for that entry that fits your criteria, guys. It's really just the patience here. I mean, this is going to test everyone's patience because we're towards the end of the session. I try to get my entry in before 7 or around 7. Anything after 7, the volatility here starts to kind of flatten out a little bit. So CJ got out of that MPS V2 for 20 points. CJ's already out. I don't know if anybody's still holding on to it. I'll watch it for you guys here. 7:53. Yeah, 753 right now. The volatility is just getting lower and lower. So we went from 35 to 32 to 30 to 27 to 25 to 23. It's just getting slower and slower. Obviously, I would like this to hit for you guys for the full 25, but the volatility is dropping quite a bit. So expect this here to take some time. Yeah, these candles are moving like 10 points now. Super, super slow. It's pushing up, but slow. So the target price point here that I'm looking for price to reach is going to be this red line right here, which is a value high. So I'm looking for this here to push up and then reject off that value high, basically sweep this area, which is where my sweep is at, right? So I got my sweeps up here. This is where I was looking to take my sells, but yeah, the volatility right now is just really low. So Barack is holding it to liquidity. Shivam already pulled out. So yeah, Shivam said I called it one tick away from 20 points. I don't know how many TPs were off. Should have been 100 per account. Volume was too low. Yeah. So Shivam over here, he locked in about pretty decent profit as well. I mean, profit's profit at this point, right? It's really tricky to be holding trades up until 8 o'clock, especially if volatility is low. But nice work, Shivam, on catching that there. So solid profit. Yeah, exactly. Shivam said, catch you guys tomorrow. Yeah, win's a win. Yeah, at least you're starting off the week in the green. So some more profits right there from Shivam. There we go. Let's let it push through right there. I was hoping it. So I started to see some volatility right here on this green candle, starting to push through a bit, and then it kind of died out. CJ said I couldn't hold on for 25 points with the ATR and volatility dropping. My nerves couldn't take it today. Yeah, exactly, CJ. I think, if you pulled out, it's going to be around like 20 points again right here, it looks like. So if you want to pull out at that 20, you guys can. If you want to pull out now, you can pull out right now as well. It's just the volatility is so low and it's just getting lower. So now it's getting down to 21, maybe 20. So I do think that 20 is going to hit. The 25 is kind of a little bit of a shot. I mean, you probably just have to hold on to it, not pay attention to it. But like I said, I think price is going to push up to this area. And there you go. 25 got hit. Looks like the 30 is probably going to get hit now. So 20, 25 got hit, 30 just got hit right there. Again, the target's going to be this liquidity point from right here, or not liquidity. There's multiple targets here. We have the value high here, and then also we have the liquidity above a little higher. Yeah, Kyle said, damn, that took a while, but he got out for 20. He's holding it for 25, but he couldn't take it. Yeah. Smart move there. It's fine, guys. It actually hit the full 30 right there. Yeah, Shiv said could have gone the other way, but conviction was in ball buys all along. Yeah, exactly. There's just a lot of confluences here for a buy. We have a bunch of targets up here for price to reach. Um, it was pushing above the opening price right here. Market still isn't bullish though. It's not really bullish until it gets above the 42,200, until it stays above this area up here. What might happen here is just possible sweep. Price might just sweep right there from the value high. Price might sweep from up here from the liquidity. Yeah, CJ said, I hope pushes to liquidity for you, Brock. Christian said, damn, my nerves were tested for 30-30. Did you get the full 30, Christian? Nice. Yeah, I mean, props to you if you held on to that to the full 30. I mean, this is a tricky, when the trade runs for more than 5 minutes, it's all game. The games are gonna play all throughout your mind because these scalps are supposed to hit right away. If you're holding on to that position for more than 5 minutes, it's gonna trick you into wanting to pull out or go for a smaller target, of course. So we got more profits over here from Christian. Christian locked in 585 for the day. Nice work, Christian. Yeah, solid profits right there. Let's see, Brock said it might jump. I hear Sean on the loudspeaker saying profit is profit. Yeah, so this is what I was kind of worried about earlier, guys. So like I said earlier, if you were to take this position here, it would be kind of tricky because the news price is right here. So the target would have been the news price, the first target. The next target obviously is going to be liquidity up here. So here, there's going to be a couple areas for sweep around this point, guys. Possible sweep right here at this area of liquidity. Well, not really the liquidity, but more so the value high. This red line right here is going to be the first level of sweep. If that sweep doesn't play out, then the next level of sweep is going to be this upper level of liquidity up here. So that's going to be something to, be aware of. Yeah, Lila said her nerves were shot. So Lila over here held it as well, 30 points. She got 929 on that trade. Nice work, Lila. You guys did great today. Everybody killed it today. There was a lot of opportunities for entries. There's only a couple that were like probably really good setups. Lila over here locked in 929 for the day. Nice work, Lila. You killed it. Great work on that. Analysis kind of played out perfect. So again, I'm looking for a possible sweep up here. The initial level of sweep may happen here. There's going to be two different areas of sweep. So the sweep may happen right here. If it doesn't sweep at this area, the next level of sweep is going to be up here at 42,226. All right, so price is pushing up a little further right here. It's 8 o'clock though, so I think I might be done for my trades for the day, guys. The volatility here is just not where it should be. ATR is currently at 18 right now, so I mean, if you're looking to take a sweep, the sweep's probably not going to be a very strong sweep. See, Sam said I'll take the 42 194 sweep. What do you think, Sean? Only answer if you have time, bro. So let's see, 42 194. I mean, it could be good. The thing is, the volatility is so low that, like, this whole area right here could be a good sweep. For me personally, I think the proper sweep area would be right here at 42 200. But yeah, 42 94 is a little close for me because I don't think market's bullish. I think it's gonna flip. It's probably gonna flip here at the liquidity. Nice. So Sam got in and out for 15 points. Nice work, Sam. Yeah, CJ said I'll be happy to be a cheerleader for anyone who's still in. I know my limits. Gotta put me in my neutral. Gotta put me in my mental health first. Yeah, exactly. It's a key thing there. It's super key. So the liquidity here actually didn't get filled, guys. It's 802 right now. The volatility is a little too low, so it does not look like I'm going to be taking anything today, which is okay. Today's Monday. You have a whole week ahead of us. You guys had a taste of the volatility for this morning. This is NFP week, first of the month, first of the week, etc. It's Monday, so we were expecting some crazy chop in the market, which we got. So here's the good thing about today's session, guys. The analysis played out perfect, right? We had MPSV2, we had the leg to the downside right here. This was perfect. And then we had the sweep, and then it continued the other way. So basically, a head and shoulders here played out. Before we even looked at a head and shoulders, we weren't even looking for head and shoulders, but we identified that this would possibly happen if the setup here would play perfect. And that's exactly what happened here. So we have more levels of liquidity right here. And that's where I'm looking for price to kind of sweep from. However, the volatility is so low, ATR is currently at 17, that I'm not expecting there's not enough volatility for there to be a sweep. So I'm not really looking for anything here right now. So just reviewing the trades for today, MPSV2 right here, full TP, sweep right here, full TP, sweep right here, full TP. Right here, there was a MPSV2, A++ setup, and then MPSV2 right here. So did that. All right, yeah, Kyle said good for the day. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Definitely, Kyle. We'll see you in the morning. Christian said enough stress for my heart today. I need a pina colada because Tampa's temperature is freaking hot. I know. I can only imagine how humid it is out there right now for you guys. It's pretty humid here, so it's probably double the heat in Tampa today. All right, let me take a screenshot of the trades for the day, guys. There's no sweep here that happened. It's 8:04 right now, so we're getting past that time. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this here so that you guys can see the entries that came up. Entries covered during today's live session. So you did pretty good right there, guys. I mean, today's a pretty good Monday to start off the week. I wasn't able to get anything, but I'm glad you guys did. You guys killed it. Whether you took one or two trades, there's a lot of different opportunities here depending on your risk appetite. And yeah, it's a good way to start the week. So if there's any questions, guys, feel free to hit me up on Discord. This is pretty much Monday, June 2nd. Pretty good wins for the day. So I'm expecting the rest of the week to possibly be pretty smooth as well as we hope. It's NFP, so we have no idea how the week's going to be, but there's definitely going to be a lot of volatility as we continue on. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow.